Welcome back to another episode of Ring Rage Report. We are back to discuss Clash at the Castle, which just took place on June 11th, 12th, 4th, 15th. I'll pick a day. Let's pass Saturday.
This Saturday. That's Saturday.
Took place over in Scotland, and then Monday Night RAW just happened last night when we're recording this. This is Tuesday night for us. So a lot to unpack. Well, I guess I wouldn't say a lot. There's stuff to unpack from Clash at the Castle. A lot of mishaps to the final appearance of the Wyatt Six, SICK, the number 6, which is how they're debuting it over WWE. So yeah, that is the game plan for tonight, and we have none other than the failed Oompa Loompa himself, Rago.
Son of a bitch. I hate you.
How's it going?
I was not impressed by Clash of the Castle, but it was not absolutely horrible. I didn't like that they started off with Cody and AJ. I understand why things were shuffled the way they were, but Cody and AJ was a decent match. That's pretty much what it was. It was
I mean, I think if I remember correctly, and again, let me preface this by saying fuck Dave Meltzer and his stupid ass rating system. The time AJ versus Cody, the last time it happened, and the first time it happened on WWE, that was AJ's first 5-star match in WWE. So, but again, fuck Dave and that stupid ass system. We've been into that. Anyways, this match felt very lackluster. Doesn't even seem like the right word to use. It just wasn't as enticing. It wasn't as captivating. It didn't feel as high powered. Looking for
it
words.
left you wanting more. It left you wanting more the entire time.
It was in between that and going, this shouldn't have happened. Like, this isn't necessary. This was unwarranted. It definitely was the page out of John Cena versus Mark Henry many moons ago. And they even reference it. It didn't feel full of a match. And the way they ended with him just holding stairs over AJ. I'm glad he still hit him with the stairs post match, but he didn't do a lot of weapon shots on AJ. Though he got the table out. And there was kendo sticks and chairs and steel steps. The only time he uses steel steps is at the end. Like, it just...
Yeah, I mean, threatening with the chair, and all of a sudden, it's like, quit type thing. That's like, okay, I guess, whatever. And then, obviously, Cody wins. AJ said, I quit. So, I mean, it's left as is with that. Hopefully, that whole thing's done. I don't see a point to continue with the AJ Cody storyline. I really don't. But again, I don't know where they go with all that SmackDown, but who knows? I'm sure they'll figure out something way better, because I do think things are going to get a little more interesting on both shows. But after everything happened, Cody's walking out, backing out down the entry, and lo and behold, Solo comes out. They have a little face-off to kind of, I guess, start that again of another bloodline feud between him and Solo now. And the stare down. I mean, if it happens, cool, but I don't know really if it's going to be anything what it was. Solo, I do think that Solo can put on a great match with Cody. And I'm not saying it's going to be anything amazing, but I do think Solo maybe it'll hold his own and with Cody. Maybe can do it like we did in NXT. Bring like he has done with Cena and a couple other matches within his run on the main roster, I think he can put together a decent match. It's just going to depend on what happens with mic time, and if Heyman gets behind him, or if they still have the whole feud between those two.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not excited for it. So I'm sick of I'm sick of the Bloodline feud to begin with, and this current reiteration of the Bloodline is shit. We talked about it in the previous episode of this, but they just felt like you have Paul Heyman, who's describing these guys, this faction, as criminals, as thugs, as gangsters, and they're not behaving in that way. They're not very like vicious. They're not vicious attacks. They're not like jumping people. It feels like it's missing something. But at the same time, I don't want to see Bloodline versus Cody again. And the only reason I could see the logical thinking of why to reintroduce Bloodline versus Cody for, I don't know, the third year in a row would be to reintroduce Roman Reigns as a babyface and have Reigns come in to save Cody and basically say, you're not ready to be champion solo. You can't be champion. You're not tribal chief. You're not head of the table. And then, lo and behold, The Rock's back too, shortly after.
No, and I agree. I think that's the whole prelude or lead up to SummerSlam for everything. I think it's where a lot of that unfolds. But then they had Tama Tonga and Tonga Lao came out.
Jumped up, beat the shit. Randy and KO.
KO and Randy came out and ran them off pretty much. But that seems to me is going to be those three feuding in some way, some form or fashion with these three clowns. This mediocre bloodline that they have going. But
hey, KO and Randy, they're not a faction. They're not teams. They're not tag teams. But they have merch. So they have merch.
They had their little run, but they don't need to be. They can have their whatevers, team ups, stuff like that. But keep it at that. They don't. I'm getting tired of. I think we talked about it too. These thrown together tag teams or whatever they want to be, because it's turning into a lot of how AEW has been with their triple threat matches.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, their 6-man tag matches, all their tag team matches that they're having, and they're getting a lot away from the solo matches and everything else. But
like on that note, they almost have to do that though. The big thing that separates AEW from WWE is the fact that they do have a triple tag team champion.
I get it.
But
again,
I don't know why WWE hasn't done that. I'm thankful they haven't, because they can't control the tag team, let alone trios.
Yeah.
They can't even control the US and the IC title.
Yeah. There's no need for it. I don't see a point in it at all. Yeah. We'll see what happens on SmackDown this coming week. There's more stuff that's happening to talk about later on in this one. But yeah, there's not the best match by any means. Left us wanting. Cody gets the win. AJ just fades out. We'll see him very much anymore.
Well, he lost. Again, this is why I think this whole match was stupid. He wasn't ever going to win because he's going to go do a promotional match at Dream Championship, Dream Wrestling, whatever. Something overseas. He's going to go wrestle somebody, I believe, from All Japan Pro Wrestling. So they're going to have their little match overseas. So, again, we know this. We know WWE is doing crossovers with other promotions. They already did one with Impact. Multiple times with Impact coming over. And then finally they sent an NXT star over to Impact to challenge. And if you know... like for AJ, for example, if you know you're going to send this wrestler over to another promotion, why is he challenging for a match or for a title? Unless he's going to win said title to go showcase title overseas. Like, I will say that's one thing I love about New Japan and AEW is they will send their champions back and forth. So John Moxley can have the U.S. title from New Japan, and he's showing up on AEW where he's contracted to, or he could have the IWGP shows up on AEW, or he can have the AEW championship and go to New Japan. Like, that makes sense to showcase your star power and to get recognition. And I get AJ's very big on the indie circuit. That's where he cut his teeth. That's where he got big. That's where he got recognized. That's where he got brought up from. But at the same time, why not have him go against, I don't know, fucking Logan Paul, win the U.S. title, take the U.S. title overseas, and get some, recognition on that title. But again, he's not going to win. Or I don't think they're going to let AJ Styles win over in that promotional match.
No, but I think also, if he was to take that title and then go over there and lose, that just knocks down the title that he takes even more in the dirt if it is
Correct.
the U.S. title.
Correct.
So, at the same time, yeah, going back and forth, whatever, that would work. But who else would they put Cody against to possibly have a decent match with in Scotland, being their first, big one they've had in Scotland?
Randy.
With that, I don't think it would have worked with Randy.
It would have worked with Randy at any time.
It would have been forced way more than it would have been with AJ.
They could have introduced it just like they did AJ weeks ago, because they have history. This isn't like sometimes brand new.
Yeah, I don't think they want any heel heat or any type of thing like that with Randy right now. They want to keep him babyface, which is how he is.
Is he babyface? Right. Because he easy there, T-Rex. Jesus. Damn. My Deadpool T-Rex just jumped off my desk.
Randy as a heel is way better than babyface Randy. I like the way more as a heel.
True.
But I don't think it's the turn that they need yet. Because he just came back. He's still running with this whole feud with Bloodline and everything else. It will happen eventually, but my hope is that, and that's, like I said, it's going to be a while, is that Cody goes heel first, but Randy doesn't have much time. So I don't think Randy ends his career as a heel.
You do not think Randy's going to end as a heel?
No, I don't.
See, I can see the exact opposite. I can see them bringing back John Cena specifically for that. So where Cena can be the babyface, Orton can be the heel. Those two have their one final match of the umpteen billionth time. Or let Randy be again heel and go after Cody Rhodes. And I know you hate it, but Randy's one of those exceptions. Like, I could make the full justified case for a three-peat match. Well, because you can let Randy show, like, I beat you, I disqualified, so you technically won, but I beat you, and I would have won had I been caught. And then him kind of pulling the same move of, I'm a veteran, I've been here for 20, 30 years, I won another match, whoever it may be, and just slithering his way into it. Beats Cody. Cody wants his rematch again, or his rematch clause, and then Randy loses it, and that makes him tied with Ric Flair and Cena, or one below. Yeah,
he's got to run it more times with 14 right now.
So he's at 14.
Yeah.
So and again, he could beat Cody the first time, drop it to Cody the second time, beat Cody the third time, and then, tie up with Flair and Cena. I still think he should be the one that wins and breaks Flair's record, but they could also play a bitch move and bring Cena back to dethrone Randy and let it be Randy and Flair for tied at second, and Cena has the most at 17.
Maybe.
Either which way, it doesn't matter, because I don't see Cody dropping the belt within the first year of having it. He'll have a lengthy run. They can't they can't, and I don't think they will do the hot potato thing with the title. I think it has like everyone's going to get a decent run with it, with the exception of Money in the Bank type thing. And whoever's winning Money in the Bank, I'm calling it right now, even though that Premier Live event's in like 3 weeks, whoever wins is cashing in on the World Heavyweight on Raw. They're not going to cash it in.
You don't think it's going to be a year-long span again?
I hope not. Like if they wanted the whole year-long span, they need to do it, and props, but they need to do it like they did with Theory, where it's failed attempts, but not like real attempts. Whether it's outside interference, or he gets speared, or he gets beaten down before he can actually cash it in and make himself part of the match. Like something more like that, where
they did it with Priest too, though.
Kind of. They did it a few times. It was not as well received as like Theory does it. Everybody instantly tuned in. Everybody was watching the highlights and the recaps of going, wait, did Theory win? Did he really cash in? Nope. Okay. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Round 76. Whatever it was.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, because there's 3 weeks to lead up to it, and it all started yesterday. But let's get to the next match that we can probably get through pretty quick.
The tag team between. By the way, I'm pretty sure I called that. I'm pretty sure I said Alba Fire Isla Dawn are gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
You said no, they won't. I did not. It did not dawn on me that those two were from Scotland.
I didn't either. I didn't know it either.
But it makes perfect sense though for them to win it, especially since the other two Scottish did not win.
If I would have known that, or even you not knowing, you still picked them, that might have been the one that I would have picked them to win, because we knew Piper wasn't going to win. We were pretty sure Drew wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was a shit show of a match too, though. Like that was one of those like.
I didn't watch the entire match because I didn't care for it, and I've seen some highlights. I know that Jade had some messes off the top rope.
But here's the thing: it wasn't just Jade, because even during Cody and AJ's match, the ref was overheard many times telling AJ the top rope is loose. So that whole top rope, like Priest had issues, Cody had issues, AJ had issues, Jade had issues. The only difference was Jade and Damian Priest, they had noticeable issues. They did not recover. They did not they didn't recover, that's the best word. From the felt. Like AJ, you can tell when he was doing the phenomenal forearm and he was getting ready to go jump on it, he was pulling on it, and then you could tell it, like he went to go push up and he goes nope, and he let go of it. So like you could tell he could instantly tense since the rope wasn't as tight as it needed to do the springboard.
Which is weird. Like if it's noticeably, like the refs noticeably see it, why would they not fix it? It's clearly, you come out and it's a tension turn. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure it would only take them 5-10 minutes, whatever, to do it. But like you're killing yourself. You're killing the talent with that. It's a huge screw up.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into about Priest because he suffered the most. But like Jay definitely had a bunch of fumbles on it, and you also saw.
I did see one at the top rope. That's the one I saw where she didn't really go very far when she jumped.
I think I saw two or three.
Okay.
But there was another post that was like they were taking still frame shots, and I couldn't tell the way they put it. There's like, she had like 6 or 7 botches. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's all in like one trajectory. And I went back and watched it again and suffered through it. I was like, I don't see these others, so maybe it's not that noticeable, and somebody's just being very nitpicky. It probably is Dave Meltzer going, she should have went 7 feet instead of 6. Fuck you, Dave.
There's a lot of people that are shitting on Jay Caro because they still don't think she's ready.
Well,
so they're picking and pointing everything out that she's doing wrong. So there's gonna look like there's more. There very well could have been. Like I said, I didn't watch the entire match. I listened to it, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, the first fumble she did not recover very well, and it was like the most noticeable one of the night. Ooh, shit! Like, you should know better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're talking about a whole different, like, WWE is a whole different beast and production than AEW or TNA or New Japan or AAA or GCW, whatever. Whole different beast. And not saying AEW screwed her over, but I don't think if you're starting cutting your teeth over in AEW, you're not gonna be performing very well over in WWE because it's a whole different type of standard. But at the same time, like you said, tighten it. How hard it would have been during an entrance or not behind the scenes, a package intro, just be like, hey, come on, 4 people, go out there, tighten the posts. Everyone do 2 cranks, 1, 2, done. But that match was also, you had Shayna Baszler tap Jade Cargill out, unbeknownst to the ref. And that was a receipt for something that Jade did to Shayna, hit her a little too hard or too real. And she basically put her in the Carafona clutch and tapped her out to the point Jade legitimately was like panicking. You can see her tapping, and she tapped twice. So it was just it's small little things like that that people will throw on a perspective and say Jade's not ready. I think she is, but she needs a little refinement is all. And I was hoping that's where like the team up with Bianca's going. But she's as ready as she's gonna be. Shayna and Zoe Stark, like, I could make an argument that Shayna's still not ready after several years of being with the WWE. She still looks clunky. She still looks non-fluid when she's moving, but she just looks like she's still stuck in the octagon cage style of MMA fighting. Let's just, let's move our feet, dance around type thing, and there's no performance behind it. Zoe Stark is there to learn, boost her, help. I don't get that pairing.
They missed their window with Shayna right after her and Rousey had their match because Shayna was starting to cook on the mic. She was a lot better, but then I don't know if they cut her feet from underneath her and put her back in this wearing your gi and everything like that because she wasn't wearing her gi for a while. I know
she's on and off.
Look around as she wore it, but when she dropped the gi and was just going as like the
Queen of Hearts or Queen of Spades, sorry,
she was starting to kind of get some momentum and was getting decent on the mic. She was looking good in there. Same with Zoe Stark when she had her shit with Natalya and all those matches she had going back and forth.
Who the fuck doesn't have a match or some shit started with Natty?
Well, I mean, look at her. I mean, she's known for helping in training and everything else. So I think if she can cook with that, maybe she gets back into it. But again, the women's division is not the best. They do have decent talent, but I don't think Jade knows what her character is because it seems like it constantly changes every time we see her. She's gone long hair, she's gone short hair, she had black stuff over her eyes. I just don't know what she's doing, and I think she's still trying to figure out
I think that's character is. I think that's more of her. I think that's one of those, like, is it creative or is it Jade? Because over in AEW, Jade kind of had full control of her character, just like most AEW stars do. They have almost full control over their character, like storyline progression wise. Not as much as like Hogan did over in WCW, where he killed it, but just Jade comes across as a better heel than she is a babyface. She doesn't generate heat, though. That's the thing. It's like, she is a good heel. She is a good shit talker. She can, demoralize somebody really quickly. But the problem is she's still too new. And even when she was in AEW, she got too close to that gray line of being, anti-hero or anti-babyface, so to speak, where she was heel predominantly, but also good guy. And people didn't know whether to cheer for her or boo her because she couldn't generate the heat, but she couldn't generate a crowd either to like chant for her. And I think that's why I'm leaning more and more strongly towards her turning on Bianca probably by SummerSlam now. I was honestly giving it to like Survivor Series at the earliest, WrestleMania being their match, but I don't think they can have babyface Jade for too much longer. It's hurting her. It's hurting the program. Her and Bianca could have a feud for months. It'd be fine.
They
And
very well could.
and it would start off probably really shitty the first match, but it would be one of those that by the end of the 16 Peter, it would be a hell of a difference. Of okay, well Jade went from being kind of green to now she's fully experienced. But
Yeah.
I think it was wrong
I know
they put the title on her to begin with so early on. I think we addressed that before.
I think they could have been. I think it just shows there too. They could have been a powerhouse tag team, but I don't think it's there. They have one of the cooler finishing moves in the women's division tag team.
Yeah.
That is moved very fluid. We said from the very beginning when they kind of
Tested it
a little bit in the first match, but then since then it's gone really smooth and it looks clean. Now that they've done it, they can maintain that as a team, but once they do have their feud or whatever, and it does need to happen soon for Jade to get some heat on her and to try and get out of whatever funk or dive she's in right now. Because I think if they don't catch her quick, they're going to lose everything with her.
I think they should do. What's the best way to phrase this? I want them to do kind of an ally and axis type thing with Jade and Bianca. Is have one be heel, one be babyface. It's worked in the past with other tag teams when one tag team member pulls more love and crowd chants than the other, and the other one's kind of just like pissed off and wants to do what they want to do. They want to win the matches. They want to win the titles. They don't care how it's done, and it just works. It's very hard to, yeah. Well, even with like Dean Ambrose, the multiple factions he was part of, he's always been kind of like, let's just get it done. Or Kane and Daniel Bryan with Team Hell No. They both at first were good / bad, and then they both went bad. Even Taker and Kane. Taker's always kind of been that anti-hero, more good than bad, but anti-hero. But it works on some people, and Jade and Bianca would be a perfect fit for that, and it would make sense. But now it comes in a question of what to do with the women's tag team, because you have Alba Fire and Isle Dawn, who are tag champs, and looks like they're getting ready to start a storyline with Shayna and Zoe, as what we saw on Monday Night Raw. But at the same time, like, who else is there? You have Indy Hartwell and Pixie. I can't think of her name. Gargano's wife. Can't think of her name now. But you have those two. I cannot think of another tag team, a women's tag team, in Raw. Then on SmackDown, you have Jade and Bianca. Yeah. NXT has a few of them. I guess there's not enough women in a tag team to warrant a proper storyline or to justify a proper storyline within WWE. Like, that's one of the titles that could be a hot potato title because they have nothing established. And I get it. Everyone's shitting on Triple H right now. That's all I'm seeing. But he's only had the reigns for like 6 months, full control reigns for 6 months. So
what has been so bad that they're shitting on? That's what I don't get. Is like
storyline, the lack of the Wyatt Six actually being introduced when they should have been introduced, Jacob Fatu not being there, signing talent but not using them, storyline, Cody Rhodes not winning last year, even though that was Vince's call and not Triple H, Roman dropping the title this year versus not having Roman versus The Rock. There's just a slew of them. Like, it's constantly on my feed. It's constantly everywhere. I look, from PWI to stupid ass people like Dave Meltzer commenting on stuff, because his insider source, your right hand does not count as an insider source.
I don't know. I don't see the brand hurting. I only see it getting better. The storylines have gotten a little bit better. Yes, there are some holes in some of them. Some of them have forced Cody and AJ. They're going to happen. But I think with these, I do think they're screwing themselves with these Scotland, Saudi, because I don't think they have full control over all this. Saudi, for sure, they don't. Scotland, maybe they did, but they just wanted to more appease the masses for that. That's why they had a lot of who was there. Saudi, we've said in the past that it's whatever they want. I think they get, regardless of whatever is said. I
But
think that's what it is.
that's the interesting thing, though, is like I've said it before, kind of like nonchalantly joking of maybe we're seeing things different with TKO being in charge of now, and Triple H has came out and even addressed that of like, what's the point of the Saudi shows? Its storylines don't matter, matches don't matter, and he has came out very strongly saying that's all changed. Like, these, we're not going to just put on a premier live event to put on a premier live event and appease the masses. Like, we're going to incorporate these and use these locations to garner more views, but then to do it properly as well. So I don't think we're going to see nearly as much of like, we're getting Goldberg versus Undertaker just because some Saudi prince has a hard on for Goldberg and the other one has a hard on for the Undertaker. But like, we're not going to see that being the predominant key feature of these Saudi shows anymore. We're going to see legit storylines for the main titles. Pathetic dirt titles like the US, which means nothing virtually. IC barely means anything. Women's tag, Raw, SmackDown tag. Like, the only protected title thing is going to be the heavyweight and the undisputed. Like, that's just my 2 cents.
We'll see. There's another one coming up, so we'll see if anything's forced or thrown in last minute or whatever.
But at least they're getting the titles right. Like, it makes sense to have King and Queen of the Ring down in Saudi. Like, that makes sense.
It worked. I mean, yeah, it's about time they did it with everything again. So
Crown Jewel is November, so it makes sense. Like, the title makes sense. So I'm saying, like,
yeah, no, yeah, I get it. It just I do think that they're struggling to appease the masses over there, and especially in Saudi. I think they still do, but we'll see. Regardless of what Triple H said, I think they still will. But moving to the next match, I was hoping for an absolute banger of a match. Sammy and Chad Gable being, like you had talked about, the middle match, bringing everybody back, the match that everybody's looking forward to. With this massive heat that Chad's trying to bring on himself within his Alpha Academy, pretty much slapping around everybody. I know Cesaro wasn't there, but that could have been a
travel issue.
Probably, more than likely. Yeah, not a bad match at all. I enjoyed it. I was expecting a little bit more out of it, but I think it was a decent match for what it was, being a mid card match. I have a hard time with Sammy's matches.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have a hard time with Sam. I like Chad. I like Sammy. I was expecting a little bit more out of the match, but I don't know. I'm not sold on Sammy as IC champ. He's a transitional we talked about, but
clearly not.
I'm just waiting. I think it's coming soon. I mean, it's already started the next on Raw.
But what I mean, like, is he's not, because Becky was a transitional champion. She won it and then instantly lost it to Liv, so where they can make the storyline work properly. Sammy's defended 3 times against Chad. He's won all 3 times. He's defended, I think, against Jay. Is that right? He's defended a few times, is my point. So, and he wins. But at the same time, I'm with you. Like, I don't think this is the same Sammy that we watched when it was like Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos, or Sammy and the Bloodline. Like, something's not clicking, something's not firing, and um, he's on that later half of his career anyways. He should be putting over talent and helping build talent, and I think that's what he did with Chad, as we saw on Monday Night Raw, where Chad, made the statement of, "I'm gonna do something Otis couldn't ever do. I'm gonna win the world championship." So we now know where Chad's going, but Sammy's gonna hold the title for a bit, probably till SummerSlam. Um, I'm also all for the Money in the Bank not being cashed in on a world title either. If it has purpose, like it has to be purpose.
Yeah.
Theory.
I know, but he doesn't count. He doesn't count. Can't count theory. But I mean, like I said, it was a good match. I almost probably the best match of the night, I think. And that's not saying much.
No.
I really think it was.
I mean, yeah. I could give it that.
I do think it was. It was. I mean, not like it was an amazing match, but it was solid.
I could justify Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, but at the same time, like, I could also justify Bayley versus Piper, and that's saying something because Bayley is not a good performer as of late. But like, that match was good. It wasn't great. It was a good match. It was a solid match, especially with the difference of Bayley versus Piper, and the fact that she was able to do a Bayley to belly off the mid rope to Piper was impressive. But like, that's also one of those, I think Bayley could have dropped it, but not to Piper. It doesn't make sense for Piper because she has nothing warranted to garner that championship title as she is now. Her and Chelsea Green. There we go. That's the other SmackDown tag team for women's.
Oh. Yeah. Whatever, I guess.
I guess he also had Damage Control. Anyways, they're all coming to me now. But I could see that. But, yeah, Sammy versus Chad. Again, that also left me wanting more. That left me wanting Otis turning on Chad finally. Didn't happen. So it's just like minor little things that took away from the match when it should have fed into it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was probably, like you said, the best one there. But getting into the next one after, Sammy, we already said Sammy won that one. Walked out with it. To the next one, Piper and Bayley. Decent match. I wasn't, it was whatever. Went through. It's okay.
Yeah, I've already said my piece on it. Like,
so I mean, yeah, there's not really much to talk about. I don't think. Decent match. Nice spots in it. Bayley walks out.
I think it was the only match too where there wasn't any noticeable issues with the top rope.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because Sammy had issues getting Chad over the top rope with the clothesline. Mm-hmm. So that looked like that hurt with the way he fell over.
Yeah.
And then you had, yeah. I got nothing else to say about Bayley versus Piper.
Yeah, no, it was.
'Tis what it is.
Decent match. And then Damian and Drew.
Rough start.
Championship. Yes, definitely rough start. Rough match in general, I think.
I think they came down more though to the top rope instead of him injuring his leg.
Yeah, because you could see Drew clearly tried to catch him and help him, and then kind of like, okay, I'll get back to it. I'm gonna kick you in the head a couple times and go from there. But
he sold it. He sold it. But he also yelled at the ref like, "Get him fucking done! Like, let's go." And the ref's like,
"Yeah, he's stuck. What do you want me to do?" I've seen Priest have better matches.
Absolutely.
I've seen Drew have better matches.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it was just that they were just off to get the ring ropes. Obviously, the shift to his ankle didn't help. But before all that, it just didn't seem as fluent as a lot of them have had. Priest, transition or not, the dude has had the run. We'll probably have it for a little bit longer. But I think the way that this match went, I didn't know what the hell to think. I was like, okay, Drew's going to lose. Okay, Drew's going to win. I was going back and forth. So that, I mean, it did keep me going that way. But again, it was sloppy. I've seen them both have better matches, and I was wanting more from it. But again, like we talked about, who came out to screw him at the end? CM Punk, which is very weird at camera angle
But
for him to come out. But
no, that was an amazing camera angle because it, at least from like those watching at home, like we did, you just saw a ref come in. You're like, oh shit, okay, this is happening. They're gonna get close in, and you're like, yeah, that's a weird angle. Until you saw the turn, and you went, oh.
Okay, hold on. What ref wears red and black low Nike dunks? None. You knew it was Punk coming, and you.
I didn't even pay attention to the shoes. I did not even pay attention to the shoes. I was like, this fucking ref.
Right in the camera.
This fucking ref. He's gonna count to 3, and Drew's gonna win. Awesome, cool. He's gonna win his home country. And then when he goes 1, 2, and then stopped and went, what the fuck? And that's when I paid more attention. I went, yes.
Yeah, you.
I love this.
We knew he was going to get involved. We knew he was going to be there for something. Ended up screwing him in the end. All comes down to it. Priest wins it, walks out with it, and Drew throws a huge fit and threatens to pretty much kill everybody.
I mean, he's only been screwed in Scotland twice now, back to back.
I mean, yeah. Had the ref, threatened the ref, was cussing left and right.
Well,
Not
have you seen everything going around where they're like, this is basically the parody of Brett versus Shawn Michaels?
Yes, I've seen that.
And again, this, yeah, and this is one of those things where like people get butthurt, like, oh, they're just ripping off the storyline. If it worked once and it was golden then, why would it not work again in a more modern time with modern touches? Like, Drew is Brett, CM Punk is Shawn, like to the T, with injuries and everything.
Yeah.
The only difference is I don't hate Drew. I don't like Brett. I think Brett's fucking waste now. He's ruined, he's tarnishing his legacy with all this bad-mouthing bullshit he's doing of just pissing and moaning about everybody, everything, anything he's ever been a part of. Like, he's a sourpuss who clearly can't get over it. And it's like,
he's the angry old guy in his front lawn. Back in my day, you whippersnappers.
it's 1920, I could shoot you off my street, you know.
But yeah, no, it is that. I also heard reference of Batista when he quit.
Yeah.
At the same time too, but it is more reference to the other ones of Brett and Shawn. I do like what's happening. I do. If you see, I mean, obviously he's going to be gone for probably a couple weeks.
That's what we're saying.
He'll be gone for a little while. Be it time off or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, he also needs it too. The dude's been going balls to the wall since COVID.
Wasn't he out for a while though? Between that,
I think only for like a month, if that.
Because he returned he had a big return also. I thought he was out for like 6 to 8 months, and then came back.
Not that I'm recalling.
I thought he had I thought he was gone for a while. Anyways, it ended that. We left, whatever. We knew he got screwed, like we called. So ended that one, and then lead into Monday Night Raw, which
was great.
Started off great, ended great.
Seth
Rollins is back.
It ended great. Do I need to drive up 4 hours to whoop your ass? It ended amazingly.
It did. Seth Rollins is back. Caught me completely off guard. Wasn't even expecting that.
I don't think we had him. I don't think we had him back until I think we said SummerSlam at the earliest. Because it was SummerSlam, but then I was the one that was like, well, he should hold off till Royal Rumble and just give massive fucking pop. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's back though. I think this is a one stop shop type thing. He'll be gone again.
He's got to match it. Money in the Bank.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. Like he's just doing the storyline to kind of help put Damian Priest over, and then he'll be gone.
Good.
Ideally, that's what it should be. Use him kind of as a part timer right now. Give him time to fully heal because there's no way he tore his knee.
What, 2 months? Is it 2 months he was out?
WrestleMania.
Was that March?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
April, May, June, so 2.5, 3 months roughly.
Yeah. But he fucked his knee up. I thought he had something with his MCL or ACL. His back is all jacked.
Torn. He had back surgery.
Yeah.
So nothing was torn or anything in his knees. He did have ligament issues.
Yeah.
But nothing was torn. Thankfully. For returns.
I thought Becky Lynch said he had knee surgery.
She said he had back surgery.
Well, I know she said that, but she posted a picture on Instagram talking about his knee and how she was impressed he's back in the gym already.
Oh, if that was the case, then I must have missed that. But yeah, he did. More power to him. But he looked good. Came out fine. Everything was walking fine. But I don't know. We'll see. If he's gonna have a match after all that, I don't see any reason for him going away again. I don't think he can stay away for that long. Because the guy lives and breathes wrestling. I don't think he'll stay away.
He has a wrestling school. Go do something over there. Go be productive outside of WWE.
I don't think he's going to be gone very long.
He won't, but he needs to be.
I don't think Raw can afford for him to be gone very long either. To be honest.
Well, I think they could now. Another reason why I think with everything going on, we'll get to at the end. I think they could definitely benefit from him being gone and seeing how this carries or how well this works. If this sells and this works really well for the first month, then they can write Rollins off TV.
They can. I just don't know how it's going to look. Because if Priest can't keep up with Rollins, who is recovering, and has another match like the one he had with McIntyre, I don't know how it's going to look. It looks like it's just going to be a straight up match. And if that's the way it's going to be, cool. I don't know if there's going to be any interference or anything from outside with Judgment Day. They may be around, but I don't know if that does anything. I see this just being a straight up match.
The only way Judgment Day gets involved is if Judgment Day has the member instead of Money in the Bank. And currently they do not.
No. Which people aren't happy about. But
fuck them.
I don't know. But yeah, so that match is happening, Money in the Bank. Damian and Seth for the title. Which is cool, whatever. Hopefully it's a good match. I want to see some good lead up to it. They definitely came out firing. First thing out of the gate, setting it up for three weeks from
Saturday.
So it should be good. Trying to think after that because it seemed like it all flew by with everything they had going on. I don't know why. Like it was good. I know there was some other stuff they had.
Alpha Academy is disbanded because Chad was slapping the shit out of Zawa. Maxine stepped in. Otis stepped in. Carried both of them out. They had the backstage segment. You had the segment with Aldon and Alba Fire being talked to by what's her name? Kelly. And then, Shane Baszler and Zoe Stark come in. You mean our test? Fuck off. You're not even good enough to hold like the men's US title. And that title means shit right now. Like yes. Hornswoggle could come back, win the US, and make it mean something more than what it's doing right now. But we got that. We got that was social media, right? That was not on Raw. I was like, we got Tiffany Stratton. No, that was social media.
Well, yeah, McIntyre came out and did his
I quit.
1 minute promo of I quit, which very odd. He sold it very well because he looked like he was starting to get choked up. Like it looked like he was more emotional.
You mean just like Bret Hart?
It's like he got like I quit. Okay, gone. Triple H tried to talk to him. Pierce tried to talk to him.
Yeah.
Whatever. Walked off. He was done. Liv is still doing her thing, fucking with Dominic, wearing his pink cowhide vest.
It's purple.
Doing all that. It's pink.
It's purple.
It's clearly pink.
It's purple. They even say it's purple because it's Judgment Day, which is purple. That's not pink, sir. It's purple. That was funny interaction, though.
Oh, yeah.
Dominic, what are you doing? Just take it off of her.
I was trying to get my vest back. I wasn't doing anything. Yeah, she's playing it very well. She's even tweeting him as well.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Daddy, and everything like that. You know, bringing in social media with it. I definitely like it, what they're doing. Fuck Dominic, though.
Yeah.
With everything he's going to get, that's bitch.
I will say this, speaking of social media, because I saw this interview with Undertaker, and maybe it was his podcast, and it was just a snippet, where he's not bashing on Braun Strowman, but he's bashing. Where he's like, you have people who don't want to stay in character outside of wrestling. Like, it's a legit job for them, so they just have that character side of wrestling. And somebody's like, oh yeah, well, what's your thought on Braun Strowman? He was like, well, yeah, that's a perfect example, because Braun Strowman is a monster of men, among men, but on social media, he's this big dude goofing off with cat ears and being a goof and not being serious. Like, he's a monster on screen, but he's not a monster behavior on social media, and there's no barrier between the two of them, so it's very hard to take him very serious in WWE as the monster among men when he's acting like this teenager kid. It's like he's basically talking about the mass difference of his era versus now. It makes sense.
No,
If you're gonna use social media and have that type of job, you need to do a very good job of masking it or benefiting it from it. But
even now, he's again misused. He's just a running gimmick. Is all he is.
Yeah.
He comes in, runs around, chases people.
Yeah,
that's all he does. He's a running gimmick at this point and being misused.
which is why I thought he would be in the faction at the end to revitalize him and use him. But I mean, yes, you had Drew McIntyre quit, quote unquote storyline quit. He'll be back.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
We didn't have anything from Punk.
No, he's on SmackDown.
It just
Breaker and Sheamus match.
Punk's not on SmackDown.
Yes, he is.
No.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. He's back for SmackDown. Now, okay, maybe he hasn't picked a brand, but they're bringing him back to SmackDown this week. They're announcing and everything that he's back on SmackDown. Is he SmackDown? I have no idea. I'm assuming he's going to jump back and forth, but I don't know because he's a free agent, so I guess he can go either way.
No, he was picked second round for Raw.
Was he?
Yes.
What the fuck are they making a big deal about him being on SmackDown then? I thought he was a free agent. I don't remember.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, I know he was on the draft.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. Why are they making a big deal about him being on SmackDown?
Because he's supposed to be on Raw.
Whatever. Okay.
I didn't know they were making a big deal of him being on SmackDown. I haven't seen any advertisement for it.
That's all I've seen for SmackDown. It's like, oh, Cody or CM Punk on SmackDown. He's coming to SmackDown to address something. I don't know if it's going to be anything about Drew or not, but who knows?
SmackDown in Chicago?
Yeah, it's in Chicago. So
that's why he's on SmackDown then.
But Breaker and Sheamus, did you watch that match?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of that one?
Hated the finish. Pissed me off.
Okay. But the match itself.
It was good. I thought it was good. It wasn't great,
one of the
but
most solid matches that Breaker's had on Raw. Actually giving him an opponent that can hold their own against him.
well, I mean, Ricochet was good too,
Yeah.
and so was Ilya Dragunov.
But I think the Sheamus one showed
Power
a
for
little
power.
different. Yes, a little more a different side of Breaker, to where you see he'd be a little bit vulnerable in his character, but also bounce back and able to do. What I don't understand. Fucking Kaiser can go away somewhere.
That
What is
corner,
his little?
that corner spot though, where Breaker tried to suplex Sheamus off the top rope,
Oh, and
and
flip
like,
off the rope.
oh, that was, yeah. When he went to go jump up, I was like, oh, I hate those. Like, I know it wasn't intentional. I understand that, but it was still one of those moments. Like, it makes me cinch up because the way they had to land, it's literally on their shoulder, their neck, or their head. And Sheamus just returned from injury. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
no. It
No,
was it was, it was just an accident. Like, no one was hurt, but same with Rich Holland and Big E with that injury. I'm like, shit, every time it's like, oh, just it's gnarly lands that it's just like seeing somebody getting kicked in the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in that the spot of the big spear at the end in front of the announce table between them, pretty much running from around the ring, and
Oh, Kaiser and
Kaiser's head
Braun.
bouncing off the ground after
Look,
that. So I mean, hell of a spear. I mean, right now he has probably one of the better spears. I would probably say almost better than Roman's as well, because he's got some nasty speed when he does it.
23 miles an hour. He runs
Yes,
the ropes.
When you're running the ring, when you're running the ropes, you have some serious speed and weight coming behind it.
Yeah, like, it was just. I mean, if someone's gonna feud with Breaker, I'm okay with it being Kaiser, because let Kaiser just get the absolute dog shit beat out of him. I like when they mentioned that Kaiser and Sheamus were feuding or had feud. I went, oh yeah, I guess that's right. Like that's the attention span I gave to that. Because Kaiser and Imperium in just general is just, it's lackluster and shit. We've gone over this a million times. Like, I would rather watch Charlotte Flair go after a championship run than watch Imperium wrestle again.
Well, that says a lot right there. Okay, so you absolutely hate Imperium.
They're not, we're all about natural wrestling. Fuck you. If you're all about natural wrestling, go do Greco wrestling on the indie circuit. Shut the fuck up.
Greco-Roman wrestler. Master.
Shut the fuck up. If you're in WWE, you're on a production stage. Be a production.
And I think the last match we had on that was the triple threat for the men's.
Yeah, but we also had the women's triple threat with Zelina Vega, Io Sky, and Kathleen. Someone I don't remember ever who she was. But Zelina Vega actually showed up and she looked good as a wrestler.
Yeah, but you knew she wasn't gonna get that one.
I know, but I wanted her to.
I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people want to see her get a push. But again, I think just like the men's, I think they did miss a spot of having Io and Zelina both in there, because I think they both deserve to be in it. And I will say, I don't get shit for it, I think Finn deserves to be in the Money in the Bank as well. But I fucked him out of it. He's not in it.
I want Dominic be in it. So where Liv can come out. And cost him his chance. or we both can win this one. Finn's in it. Dominic comes out to help Finn win it. Liv comes out to fuck with Dominic. Finn gets down to stop Liv. And Finn loses.
All it's going to cause is it's going to be a Finn. It seems this way. I don't know if it's going to be anything with Finn and Damien. It may be Finn and Dominic over Liv.
Nope. I think it's gonna be Finn and Priest, because Priest has already called him out. Why'd you take the card and why'd you take it so shadily? He's like, dude, I just handled it. Don't worry about it. Okay, you also showed up to Raw before in the same car as Liv. You took Liv's room key. Like, storyline wise, it leads to a showdown between Damien and Finn, and very likely Liv will be the catalyst for who takes control over Judgment Day. And I think this was going to kick Priest out and let him go stand on his own two legs, as we have seen the hints drop so heavily on Priest saying, I don't need you, what the fuck were you guys doing on the ring, I didn't need your help. But at the same time, Clash of the Castle could have probably been saved with some outside interference from Judgment Day. And that's saying a lot because we don't like Judgment Day.
No, but I think also you're going to end up seeing the Demon at some point if it does end up being Damien and Finn, because in the background the
Several weeks in a row now.
Over there, so yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be in there, and again, I guess I keep forgetting about Rhea as well. She'll end up coming back and feuding with Liv over Dominic, so that'll also be there.
Oh, not after that Buddy Matthews tweet.
Which one? I didn't see that.
I don't remember the exact words, but basically saying you can have Dominic. Rhea has better.
Oh.
And he was being blasted. I was like, oh. No, he didn't. Because he reshared, or he shared Liv's tweet.
Because what I see happening is another old storyline of when Ray and Eddie had their match for Dominic. Now it's going to be Liv and Rhea having their match for Dominic.
Look,
it was a fight for the son. Now it's a fight for the daddy.
Look,
so,
I'm not saying you're right, but that storyline makes sense.
Yes. So when and if it happens, who knows? But the triple threat match between Finn.
You think they're gonna hang him up in a cage?
They should.
And just.
He should be. Yeah. Just hang him up there. Like, and just leave him. Just shake hands and walk off and leave him. Bye.
I think that's very likely a storyline, regardless it's gonna happen. But it's where Judgment Day falls along with all that too. Mm-hmm. So, because Liv did cost Zelina her spot in Money in the Bank, allowing Io Sky to capitalize and get the spot. So there's still that potential of like coming down to the final member of the Money in the Bank match and it being like being like Zelina and someone else, and Zelina just winning to capitalize in it, and then her being able to go cash in or attempt to cash in on Liv. But I don't see them letting Liv lose the title since they're saving for Rhea.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think they missed their opportunity with Zelina Vega. She should have won the title back in Puerto Rico. They should have capitalized then.
I think it was too forced at that point. That would have been the same as like Piper winning it.
But yes, it was too forced, but it also was still too soon. It was one of those like weird moments of she's ready, but she's not fully ready, type thing. Because Rhea was just getting started after beating Natalya a dozen times in a row for the title.
Yeah, so I do think that the women's division in Raw has a lot more storyline and success right now than SmackDown is very dull.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot more heat that can happen. And Liv's doing a good job of maintaining her
men's and women's.
Being a bitch.
Men's and women's.
So So I mean, they're doing great over there with that. Cody's doing Cody. I don't know. I'm ready for his heel turn. It's not gonna be him soon, but yeah. I want to see him as a heel. I think he'll be a lot better as a heel. And I saw something with Undertaker today when he was asked about it. He thinks Cody's heel turn will be even better as well.
He's also one that said it'll be over a year before we see this.
Yeah,
so.
It's got to be. I mean, he's gonna have to have one with Roman or The Rock or both before it's all said and done as well. So, but I think to get into the last part of Raw with the triple threat of Jay coming out saying he's going after the Yeet case, as he calls it, which is it's a briefcase. Just we're coming up to this. I have to make sure to get it out. It's a briefcase and not a suitcase like I called it.
Where is Lane?
It's a briefcase, not a suitcase. Saying it now, because I fucked it up all last year.
Yeah, I didn't stop you either. It's your role.
Jay, fucker, Finn, and Ray in a triple threat, which I don't know why they threw Ray in there, but I guess you have three.
That's why CM Punk's also on SmackDown, though, is because it's Money in the Bank. So both brands can cross. Because Zelina. No, they're on Raw, aren't they? X-nail that.
decent match. High spots were good. I thought that Jay was going to end up killing Finn and Ray on his final splash that he did.
Yeah.
I didn't think Finn was set right, but he ended up being set right and taking it or moving at the right time to get hit by it.
He saved himself, yeah.
But yeah, it was a decent match, to say the least.
But the motherfucking ending of Raw.
They did a good job of him going to the crowd, taking focus off of the entrance so they can get everything set up. And then darkness hits slowly.
House of Horrors.
It all starts. The door again, which people I've seen on social media, people are like, oh, this is new. Like, no, it's not.
It's always there.
Ray did it when he came back. So I was like, it's nothing new. But cool. I like they did it. Everything with it. They used his entrance music at the beginning. Then you see the lamp, and then Nikki Cross crawls out.
Properly, by the way. Like, it looked.
Yes. It was not Sister. What's the character?
Sister Abigail.
No, it's not.
That's the character from Funhouse, though.
No, it's the other one. It's not Sister Abigail.
Oh, the witch?
Yes. That's not Sister Abigail.
No, it's not.
I can't remember her name. Off the top of my head, that's
you daft cunt. You're gonna make me look this up.
It's the witch. I can't remember the it's called. Yeah. She calls out and goes through everything with it, and
it's Abby the Witch.
Abby the Witch. Okay. She comes out. The mask looks
on
great.
Point.
Everything with it. She stands up. You can clearly see the figure. Everything about it is Nikki Cross. She points to the back. It cuts to the back, and do we want to go through it, or do we want to talk about social media and all the rumors and shit as we go through each character? I think it might be easier if we just go through each character as it walks through to the back. They pan down. It's all dark out.
I mean, the most I'm seeing on it is just the full acceptance of it being House of Horrors style with first person going in, making it look like blood was shed everywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
Or are you talking about the people that were taken out?
People that were taken out.
Okay.
So first one you see is the rabbit. You have, which is, I didn't notice it, but I didn't even catch it. But the red beard, I missed the red beard when I first saw him. But Eric Rowan as the rabbit. I didn't notice it. I was too caught up in everything. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I was staring at everything around it because I was trying to get at everything else. But one cool thing, you saw the logo on the back, and then also the skull of Luke Harper on the back of the mask as well, that Luke Harper wore when they were their tag team as well. And
you also see his Bludgeon
Brothers is what they were. And then carrying a sledgehammer says help with the lot better mask than what they had before with the rabbit. They going in to where Gorilla's at, and sparks are flying everywhere, the blue lights going off and on.
Red and blue lights, yeah.
People laid out with the
Mercy the Buzzard.
That's what it is, the Buzzard, yeah. Which took a little bit to see, but being Dexter Loomis.
Yep.
With him. And then right as you go to the next curtain, right there you have the pig and being Joe Gacy.
Yep.
Which very, very small, or maybe it's just a camera angle, but he looked tiny.
He's not a big dude.
He's 6 foot tall.
Not big in WWE. That's the problem.
But if you looked at that,
I mean, he's like a foot taller than you, but yeah.
Dick. But if you look at the angle of the camera, everything made him look. I thought Gacy was a bigger guy. I thought he was almost like a Bronson Reed build. I don't remember seeing him. I thought he was a bigger dude. But they go from him. They pan over some other people, and then you see Chad Gable laid out, bleeding, and pan over to the right, shows Uncle Howdy. Blue light behind him, gleaming, and everything else. Great walkout with it. He almost stumbles, it looks like, over one of the bodies that are there. They all come together, walking out, and the look that they have with him, the long hair, the dreads, everything else, a good homage to Bray and everything else. A lot of it all tied in. Everything looked great. coming out, holding the lantern, and then we're here, blow it out.
Yeah.
But man, it was shot great. Everything about it was very well done. I do think it took too long for them to finally show up,
But
it's
did it
finally
though?
happened.
Because look at the payout.
Yes.
Look at the payout.
I still think you would have had the same thing a month ago.
I don't think you would
You
have.
would have had the same thing a month ago. The
No.
QR codes went on way too long. I think it was a month, if not a month and a half too long, 2 months too long. I don't know. It took forever, but finally happened. They finally showed up. I could only see clearly was Chad Gable. There are a plethora of rumors and saying a few other wrestlers they think are in there, but they don't make any sense.
No, they don't
look like any of them.
No, and I went through, like, I think I was telling you this earlier today. I went through, I started, like, just rewatching almost frame by frame. There was a lot of people in slacks and button-ups. I didn't see too many, like, tights, except for Chad Gable, but even then he was technically dressed up. And unless people are seeing, like, the purple hair of Damian Priest, I didn't see anybody from Judgment Day there. I didn't see any of the wrestlers in Chad, and he was literally the only defining wrestler you could see in that whole clip. And again, watch it back to front.
They had laid out that Gunther was there with Eric Rowan. He was the far left one with blood on his face, and if you look at it, it doesn't look like Gunther at all. Then they said Carmelo was next to him with the swirl cut. That's not him. I think he's already came out and said that wasn't him.
Yeah.
He tweeted it or something like that. I don't know if you told me that, but
it wasn't me. But yeah,
there's something with that wasn't him. Then they went back to it into where Dexter Lumis was, and they said the other guy laid out, big dude. They said it was Braun Strowman. You can clearly see the guy has a tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
Not as big as Strowman either. Not as defined. Big dude. It looked like maybe his shirt was ripped off or whatever, but another guy laid out.
He had the headset on too. Like,
yeah, so there was
gorilla headset.
They had said that that was Braun Strowman. Clearly not. The big blood splatter with the guy laid up, they had said it was either Seth Rollins, which clearly did not look like Seth Rollins at all, because Seth Rollins has a very distinctive nose as well. And that guy had
what are you trying to say here?
He's got a big nose.
Okay.
He's got a huge chin as well. But that, and they also said it could be Angel, which doesn't make any sense either.
Like Angel Garza?
Yeah, it didn't look anything.
He's like a tiny dude.
Yes, but that guy was not big. It was sitting with the splatter behind him. But
he's bigger than Angel.
Oh, probably. And then going in, they also, when going in to see where Joe Gacy was before you saw Gable, the two people laid out. They're like, "Oh, that's Judgment Day." I'm like, you can't see them. You cannot make out anybody there. And again, they're in black shirts and black slacks, like security normally is.
I don't. Yeah, I think that's all stretch. I haven't seen too much of that on my feeds, so I think it's a full stretch. The only defined one that we saw was Chad, but again, it's Wyatt sick and 6, so 6, still just fucking English. SICK number 6 of the other one. However, we have the bunny, we have the witch, we have the pig, we have the vulture, and we have Howdy. That's only 5. So we're still needing one more. And like we've talked about, their sister Abigail. So do we bring Liv back? But there's already been, like I was telling you earlier, there's already been reports that a former female wrestler with tight connections to Bray Wyatt will not be joining the Wyatt 6. And the only person that has a strong connection with Bray Wyatt, that's a female wrestler, that people at least like definitively know is Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
So, but I could also see them bringing her in kind of a way where Bliss broke away at one point and then she turned back, like maybe doing that. But other than that, Braun Strowman is the only other one that would make sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that at that point you're out of characters for them to be, or him to just be how he was before, as the lone sheep or the black sheep.
Uh,
Like he was.
they could do something. I mean,
No, they could, but I think also with this Wyatt Six that they have, they may not need Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross.
you could always use a chick throwing fireballs at you.
Yeah, it's true.
Just don't have hair.
I do think that I do think Alexa Bliss gets involved in it at some point.
I don't think she does for some time unless she's going to be a part of the group.
Yeah. Also, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
He's got it because I saw again. They said that they're the. I don't know if this was just put in, but I've seen TikToks and other things too of stills of the doll that she would carry was supposedly to the. If you're looking at the screen to the left in the fog.
Oh.
I didn't see it. I've seen it only like once or twice, but again, it could have been superimposed. It makes
Yeah. Here's the problem. It's like, again, this is why I think the payoff works better than if it was about to go. All of the internet talk about, all of professional wrestling talk about, and the problem is now you have try-hard fanboys going after the most minuscule things. I was like, oh, did you see the purple laces on that black shoe? I know it was like a dark room and there was like only red and blue flashing lights. I know red and blue makes purple, but did you see the purple shoelaces? That is Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
Did you see that white guy with the goatee? Yeah. That oh yeah, that is Seth Rollins. No, I know he has a tiny nose, but it's still Seth Rollins. Prosthetic. Like, I don't know. That's the type of stuff where I try not to get too involved in. It's like, it's fucking obnoxiously reaching to the point. It's just like, really? You guys are fucking stupid. Get over it.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see what happens. It's finally here. They finally showed up.
The big question now is, do they stay on just Raw? Because none of those people were drafted.
No, they don't even. I think the only one that shows up is
Uncle Howdy.
I guess Dexter. Well, no, on their website.
Oh.
But I guess it's because Bo Dallas doesn't show up as a superstar. Gacy and Loomis are only two. I think Nikki Cross does as well. So 3 out of the 5 show up on there.
Yep.
But as far as being
Raw?
drafted anywhere, no, they're just current superstars. I don't think they show up anywhere.
And this would be the faction you let them run Ramshot over all brands. Don't bind them to just Raw. Don't bind them to just SmackDown. Don't bind them to just NXT. Let them find their victims on all brands. And then when the ECW comes out in January or February on Netflix, whenever it debuts, let it come out and let them be a target too. Like, run Ramshot.
The QR codes and everything, there was some hint towards a CG being initials for CG for
CG
for being the next victim or being the first victim of everything, which ended up being the first one that you could clearly see outside of any rumors that people have laid out.
Otis was clearly in the gorilla. I don't know how you didn't see him.
There are the rumors too that Otis came back and did that, and it wasn't them. But
I'm okay with it, weirdly, but it's not him.
I don't see why you would hide it if it was Otis that did it. I'm still following along with it. It was clearly Uncle Howdy and then that did that.
Yeah.
To him and leave it at that. Close it out, blowing out the lantern, then the short flash of the witch again at the end. One of the better Raws after a pay-per-view in a very long time.
Haley, yes, you're absolutely right.
They've missed the mark on a lot of those afterwards, and I think they did a great job with these ones.
And like I told you, they've already confirmed that the Wyatt Six has its own writer. It's like the whole storyline is handled by one specific writer, and he has basically free reign. Of course, Triple H will have final say. I was like, that's a little too far, or that's not far enough. But I hope they keep going down this House of Horror style. I hope they bring in like a lot of just horror movie type aspects, and without going into the realm of needing CGI or green screen effects of any sort. Like, it's gonna be very hard to do, but it can be done. And,
yeah.
I mean, hell, the easiest way to be like, but
they're not gonna be supernatural.
Yeah.
Either, so.
Which is good.
Maybe more realistic home characters. That's why he has the gas mask to look like the pig and not a pig mask. Which I do like how they did all that. They took away the more cartoonish animated look that they had with it before, and made it a little more realistic with everything. The more of the skull mask for the vulture, the gas mask for the pig. They have the rabbit mask, but what else you can do with that? And then Uncle Howdy being how he is, and Sister Rabbit.
That's a skeletal rabbit mask.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and then the witch's mask with everything she's got going on too. They all look really well done. I'm assuming they're still using the same artists they used before with that did the Fiend and everything else, because the dude did amazing work that you could see in the documentary. Everything leading forward. I do hope that they grab one of the lanterns that they had ready to go and place it here or there. You know, it doesn't need to be a centerpiece for everything, but the one that they were going to use towards the end of everything would be great placement at some point.
I mean, I think that'd be I think it'd be the best way to kind of have them be present without them having to physically be present. It's like if there's a target, say Chad Gable, is to have a lantern just somewhere presently or somewhere visibly seen for everyone present. And whether it's just like on the ramp, it just randomly shows up, or Michael Cole has one underneath the desk and he pops up, or whatever. Yeah. Something minor, just a little panache touch right there. However, wrapping that up, did you see Jey Uso's thing? Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yes,
yeah, you sent me. That was, I love that one. He's like, I don't want the Firefly. Leave me alone.
You can have them back. I'm glad I activated them for you again. You can have them back because I don't want no problems with that.
I'm gonna leave now.
Great. That's who I thought they were gonna go after because of the whole Firefly thing that he had. But you know, whatever. Let him have his run with the title, and maybe they do eventually get him. But
plot twist though, they could, in a roundabout way, protect him for reactivating the Fireflies. I was gonna say reactivizing. It's just not a word. Reactivating the Fireflies and bring him back, and that would be a good like nod to JoJo for allowing him to like start using the Fireflies, be okay with it on Bray Wyatt's behalf, and just be like, hey, okay, we got you, but inevitably turn on him. And I don't think anybody there should hold title is a problem. There should be, this faction doesn't need a title, because when you introduce the title, it makes things very, very muddy, very murky. Okay, Uncle Howdy has a title. How do you do this without making it seem like he can't stand on his own without his faction? But like, he should have the title because it's legacy. Like, it's a very, very finite subject with big factions like that.
Well, it works. Also, none of them are top tier talent either. None of them have ever been top tier talent. They've mentioned it.
Nikki Cross, she had the women's.
Yeah, and yes, we did talk about it too, but like they're mid tier. They are. They're mid tier talent.
They are forgotten mid tier.
And this is going to elevate them, obviously, if it's done correctly, which is so far going that direction.
Yeah.
But being a mid tier talent like that, if you want to throw a tag title on them, maybe I could see that, but I don't see it really being anything more than that.
They don't need to be overused as the thing. Like, this needs to be this is where the lantern comes into play. Like, we don't need to see him every week. We don't need to see him even every month. Just small little nods of their existence. It's fine when done properly. But being shoved down our throats like the Bloodline was, where everyone's like, okay, we're done with the fucking Bloodline. It's a year into it. Cool. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Stale. Oh, Sami Zayn's part of it. Okay, well, let's see where this plays out. Okay, we're stale. This is done. Like, can't do that. You can't repeat the sins of the past, like, sporadically.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
They had nods to being the new ministry, which
Are they gonna hang somebody up on the cross?
I don't think they can do that one again and get away with it. They barely got away with it last time. They got a lot of threats from churches on that
It could
one.
be Stephanie McMahon again.
Not that it wasn't the first time they had threats from churches, but it's what it is. I don't know. It's getting exciting again. I hope it stays that way, but we'll see what SmackDown does with CM Punk being there. Like, since we're in Chicago and everything else, he's supposed to have a medical update, since that's why he wasn't on Raw, because he had a doctor's appointment. So
He wasn't locked in the business center again.
no, not this time. So yeah, he apparently had a doctor's note. He wasn't allowed to be on Raw. So
around this time, after Brett quit, Sean announced he was able to come back. So $20 says he's coming back.
possibly, I don't see why he wouldn't, but who knows? I don't know what the hell they're doing.
We'll see. It's definitely gonna be an interesting thing. So we shall see.
Yes.
I think that's gonna be all for us on this episode. We'll of course touch base again for Money in the Bank. Right now, the contenders we have for women is Io Sky. For men's, we have Jey Uso, and we know for sure Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for for World Heavyweight Champion is on the line as well. So that's what we know. As things develop, we'll of course release everything at that time. So that's all I got. Check us out. You guys win Gamepad and Ring Rage Report.
Yes.
So that's all I got. Ronald?
Yeah.
You got a message from your Oompa Loompa overlords?
Shut up. I got nothing else. I'm looking forward to see what they do in the future. So, to the next one. Bye, bitch.